这 A 桩 I nudged the still stupefied crab general beside me. "You had any strange visitors in the North Sea lately? Blood-clad types, sneaking around like coral thieves?" Edron scratched his head, his mangled claws wobbling. "Now that you mentioned it, yeah. Over the past half-month, we've had a bunch of them. Claimed they are traveling merchants from overseas, here to buy our 1,000-year black ice. Paying crazy money, to a whole sack of pearls for a tiny chunk. Mr. Turtle even issued them travel permits. Said they were legitimate traders. Why? Something wrong? Buying 1,000-year black ice, my FOWN deepened. 1,000-year black ice is useless for anything except sealing evil entities beneath the North Sea. What the hell do they want with it?" Before I could think further, the distant black-clad figures stumbled over something. One of the dark bottles tumbled from the chest and shattered against the reef. A thick, oily black mist erupted from the broken vessel, and in an instant it enveloped a small shark swimming nearby. The shark's eyes went blood red on the spot. Black spikes burst from its flesh, and it slammed into a nearby demon soldier like a rabid beast, tearing off half the soldier's arm in a single bite. The remaining black-clad figures paled. They scrambled to collect the broken bottle, then fled in panicked chaos into the currents. So flustered, they didn't even notice the black token that had slipped from their grasp. I walked over and picked it up. The token was carved from some kind of unidentified bone, etched with a single crooked character, U. Faint traces of black miasma still curled from its surface. The moment my fingers closed around it, a thunderclap went off inside my skull. 3,000 years of buried memory came flooding back in an instant. Back then, I wasn't some gatekeeping, shrooming in the North Sea. I was cultivating in a pool at the foot of Mount Kunlun, just barely having forged a human form, spending my days perched by the water's edge, listening to the primordial Lord of Heaven lecture on the Tao. When the investor wars broke out, I got bored and wandered over to the Western Till encampment to bum drinks off Jiang Ziya. That old miser guarded his wine like treasure, stashed it away so tight I had to sneak 3 full gourds before he caught me and chased me 300 miles. That was when I first saw a token just like this one. Wen Zhong had been leading his campaign against the North Sea, and everything was going smoothly, until a horde of black miasma-crazed monsters erupted out of nowhere, attacking indiscriminately. Even Wen Zhong's own ink, Killing, got beaten. Wen Zhong spent half a year investigating before he finally uncovered a shadow organization called the Nether Pavilion that was secretly gathering the world's evil artifacts, stirring up chaos everywhere, trying to steal the investiture scroll in the confusion of the war. My heart dropped straight into my stomach. I rushed through the treachery, past the hidden door. The floor beyond was littered with broken stone and fresh excavation debris. The ancient coralline dragon pillar, the one I'd first noticed 300 years ago, had already been half excavated. 3 of its binding chains had snapped. Black miasma was seeping from the broken ends. The ancient runes carved into the pillar's surface were nearly worn beyond recognition. I reached out and pressed my hand against the pillar. Information flooded directly into my mind. What lay sealed beneath this pillar was the Chaos Core, the primordial entity suppressed here since the very moment Pangu split heaven and earth. Everything the Nether Pavilion had done, gathering black ice, collapsing spirit beasts, goading Nether into wrecking the sea, it was all to dig up this pillar and release the Chaos Core. Once that happened, all 3 realms would be consumed by chaos, and they could seize control in the aftermath. The surface plot, the Nether Pavilion wreaking havoc, destabilizing the North Sea to buy time to unearth the crawling dragon pillar. The hidden scheme, a plan set in motion 3,000 years ago, during the investiture wars, now finally reaching its endgame, and I am ordinary shrimp who wanted nothing more than to tend his gate, had somehow become the only person alive who knew their entire plan. I stepped out of the hidden chamber. Nanja was passed out cold on the pile of dragon pearls, dead drunk. The Dragon King was swaying on his feet, sloshed, grabbing my hands and slurring about how I was the North Sea's greatest hero, how he was going to appoint me Grand General of Sea Suppression. Terrified, I yanked my hands back. No, I just want to be the East Gate Guard. Let someone else be Grand General. Are you kidding me? A Grand General has to attend morning briefings every day. Being a gate guard is 1,000 times better. I was about to slip out and head back to my kelp field when the black token in my pocket suddenly blazed hot. I pulled it out. The character U on its surface was glowing. On the distant sea's surface, countless black ships were closing in from every direction. Their decks swarmed with masked, black-robed figures, each one clutching a bottle filled with black miasma. At the bow of the lead ship stood a figure, voice cold as ice, echoing through the entire North Sea. Wretched ends of the North Sea. Hand over the coiling dragon pillar, or today your entire sea is wiped from the 3 realms. AGO dove behind me, his mangled clock clutching the hem of my vest. Even the clam spirit dropped her usual gentle demeanor, pulling a hidden arsenal of pearl-throwing weapons from inside her shell and planting herself in front of us. I took my rusted bronze halberd in hand and rolled my wrist. 3,000 years without a real fight thought my bones were damn near rusted solid. After Wenzhong fell at the Dragon's End Ridge, the nether pavilion vanished. I'd assumed they'd been buried along with the ashes of the investiture wars. Never imagined that 3,000 years later they'd resurface in the North Sea to stir up trouble again. Shi-san, what are you spacing out for? Azhuang wrapped my shoulder with his claw, yanking me back to the present. What's that creepy broken token thing? Looks cursed as hell. I slipped the token into my pocket. No point telling him all that ancient dust-gathering history from the investiture wars. He'd never believe me anyway, a 300-year-old little crab. How could he possibly know that I'd once watched Wenzhong ride his ink kiln into 3 straight days and nights of battle against monsters in the North Sea? Fighting so hard, he snapped his own golden whip in half. Nothing, just something a coral thief dropped. I waved it off. Keep your eyes open on patrol from now on. Anyone dressed in black, grab them. Don't waste time asking questions. I made it sound casual, but my mind was racing. The nether pavilion had stayed buried for 3,000 years. No way, they'd crawled out of the shadows just to steal a few chunks of black ice. On the surface, they were sowing chaos everywhere. Corrupting spirit beasts, stirring up civil war among the sea clans, trying to throw the North Sea into disarray. But beneath all that, they were playing a much deeper game. My peaceful days as a gate guard were officially over. I was still piecing it together when a scream tore through the Dragon Palace. Nature's voice, followed immediately by the sound of the treasury doors getting kicked clean off their hinges. My heart clenched. Had the kid figured something out? I grabbed my halberd and sprinted inside. I burst into the treasury hall and skidded to a stop. There was Neja, perched atop a mountain of dragon pearls, a wine jug hoisted in one hand, clinking cups with the Dragon King. The Dragon King's face had bloomed into a full-blown chrysanthemum of joy. Elbing stood up to the side, his sinew already reattached, his legs still trembling. Turns out Neza had barged into the treasury, taken one look at the roomful of dragon pearls, and gone absolutely wild with glee. The Dragon King, scared out of his wits, had frantically laid out a banquet, uncorking immortal wines he'd been hoarding for 3 millennia. The two of them were now red-faced, drunk, and halfway through becoming sworn brothers. Brother Xiao, over here! Neza spotted me and waved frantically. The Dragon King says, I'm officially the North Sea's adopted son now. Anyone tries to wreck this sea in the future, I'll fight them for you. Oh, and I found a hidden door. In the back of the treasury, bunch of black-robed guys locked inside, sneaking around, digging up that coiling dragon pillar you mentioned. I smacked them all flying for you.